He opened the door and saw his wife and boss lying naked in bed, and in her hand was the very contract he'd just stayed late to finish. His heart felt like it had been crushed by an ice cube. He forgot to breathe, staring at the scene, trying to comprehend how his life had slipped so suddenly into chaos. Just days ago, he was the respected middle manager at the office. He was living a predictable, supposedly safe life. But the bills came rolling in like a tidal wave. Rent, student loans, car payments, health insurance. None of it waited for anyone. In that moment, he realized that punching the clock and staying late wasn't enough. Maintaining a decent life wasn't enough to survive rising costs. He understood that if he kept going exactly like this, it wasn't just his marriage that would inevitably collapse. His bank account could run dry at any moment. So he picked up his phone and seriously studied investing and personal finance. Not to show off, but to survive in this crazy, skyrocketing world. Most portfolios don't die in a dramatic explosion. They wither like a houseplant on a windowsill. Slowly, quietly, while the owner keeps insisting it just needs a little more time. That's the lie. The polished, seemingly rational, completely believable lie. I've already put so much in, I can't walk away now. In finance, it sounds disciplined, patient, loyal, and mature. In reality, it's one of the most expensive sentences an investor can ever say. Sunk costs are dead money, dead time, dead emotional energy. It's gone from your account, your schedule, your nervous system. It doesn't rest, it doesn't wait for your loyalty, it's gone. Yet most people treat it as if it's still right there in the room, just listening, ready to reward their stubborn perseverance. Picture a real-life scenario. You check a position that's dropped 40%. Even before opening the app, your stomach knots. You know the numbers, but you have to look anyway. That's why smart people get trapped here more than careless ones. And it's not just the gamblers who fall for it. Smart professionals solve complex problems all day long. But they freeze when facing a losing position. Because selling turns paper wounds into real scars. We even build monuments to these mistakes. Take the Concorde supersonic plane, a marvel of engineering. Fast, elegant, historically significant, but economically doomed. Doomed before it even went commercial because fuel costs were insane. Yet people clung to it for years. Why? Not because the data improved, but because humans hate burying the past. Governments, institutions, investors, families. Once enough is spent, the cost itself becomes a reason to keep spending. Here's the first illusion I want to break. Holding does not equal strength. Sometimes holding is just procrastination in a suit. Sometimes conviction is just embarrassment dressed up in finance jargon. If that stings, good, it should. Because so much personal finance advice flatters you right into losses. It tells you to stay positive, stay calm, stay the course, without ever asking if the course itself is broken. Making the right choice in volatility is different from worshiping sunk costs. Before we go further, I want you to think about one thing. One thing you already know is a heavy burden. Maybe it's a stock you keep holding but no longer believe in. Maybe it's a pile of clothes you never wear, but you can't donate them because of the receipt total. Maybe it's a subscription quietly draining your account each month. Canceling would admit you were duped by a fantasy version of yourself. Keep that in mind as we move forward, because costs aren't just losses. They're trapped money that can't work for you. It can't be redeployed, earn returns, or reduce risk. That's why this lesson is more important than the next hot stock tip, or some generic top 10 opportunity list. Most people aren't ruined by a single big mistake. They're drained slowly by refusing to cut losses, refusing to update, refusing to separate past spend from future potential. If you factor the past into your next move, you're already distorting the math. Once you see that, the whole game changes. So tell me in the comments, what's the one thing you're still holding on to? mainly because you've already paid for it. People say it's just on paper, which sounds comforting until life starts sending bills. You bought $10,000 of a stock. Now it's worth $6,000. You haven't temporarily lost $4,000. You've lost $4,000, full stop. If the hospital calls demanding an emergency room bill, the market doesn't care about your average cost or confidence level. It just demands $6,000. Look at behavior. A stock drops from $50 to $30. Small investors say they'll wait to sell until it hits $50 again. Sounds cautious, mature, but it's not. The market is saying 30. Millions of participants reprice in real time, all at 30. Yet in your head 50 becomes sacred, protecting yourself from reality. The system loves this. It loves investors who can't separate price from remaining value. It loves dead money trapped in dead ideas. Your cash is frozen. Attention is trapped. Options disappear. The market keeps moving, completely oblivious to you. This is the real class divide in investing. Not rich versus poor, expert versus novice, but master versus hostage. Masters ask, if I had new money today, would I buy? Hostages ask, how do I get back to where I was? It's not a strategy difference, it's a hierarchy difference. The top layer of capital buys the best future returns with new money. The lower layer tries to rescue old mistakes. One compounds, the other decays. That's why the myth of effort collapses. People say, work hard, be patient, never quit, and wealth will come. Gym or school maybe, but the market will harvest you. The market doesn't reward emotional patience. It rewards correct allocation. Who gets systematically harvested? Salary earners without an owner mindset. People who save diligently, contribute faithfully, but let shame, hope, and payback math control decisions. Thinking not selling equals not losing. Mistaking inaction for safety while inflation quietly erodes idle funds. And opportunity costs rack up the bill. Loss isn't just numbers vanishing from a screen. It's what that money could have become if it weren't trapped by old mistakes. A dead stock for 3 years isn't just 3 years of regret. It's 3 years of idle capital, 3 years without compounding, 3 years obsessively checking the app while funding your own stagnation. So don't tackle your whole life at once. Start with one dead asset or expense. Today, do one thing. Sell a position you'll never buy again. Cancel a subscription that only exists because of fees or imagined use. Donate or sell an item at market value, not memory. The goal isn't max resale value. It's breaking the spell. Train your brain to stop asking, how do I get back my old money? And start asking, what's most useful to me now? Subtle, but a complete OS overhaul. Big ticket items work the exact same way. People cling to a house, city, or career path because of renovations, gardens, roofs, weekends spent sweating. Identity says, I built this. Reality says, does it fit the future? A new job pays more, offers a better life, broader long-term options. Past investment gets no vote. Sweat does not equal a financial plan. Past effort inflates the value of things misaligned with your future. Danger lies in letting past labor dictate future decisions. You're defending an old version of yourself instead of allocating capital. The only commitment worth making, not to wealth, not to certainty, but to a clearer system, lighter mind, honest numbers, cash, time, and attention devoted to things with a future. That's where compounding begins. Not picking divine stocks, but reducing leaks, friction, and silent self-sabotage. Do an audit. Keep the pain simple. Look at positions you've been defending instead of evaluating. Bills you renew out of habit. Items you paid full price for. Things you would never actually buy today. Then take one action, not 10, just one. Sell it, cancel it, donate it. Then tell me in the comments, What's the one thing you're finally selling, canceling, or letting go of this week? Just one. Say it out loud. Public accountability might be the cheapest financial tool you'll ever use.